If you're enjoying these hypnotic tales, and especially if you're using them to drift peacefully into slumber, please remember to leave a review. Your support means the world and helps me create more stories like this. Thank you. Before we continue, let us settle once more. Notice your breath as it flows in and out, soft and unhurried. Imagine yourself resting in that medieval tower chamber again, where the air is cool, and the only sounds are the hush of the wind and the faint scratch of Lady Isolde's quill. With every word, you may sink deeper into the cushions beneath you, your eyelids heavy, your body safe and at ease. And now, our story continues. A journey under the stars. When news of the messenger's arrival reached the king, he summoned Isolde to his side. She entered his solar to find him gazing out at the courtyard, his brow furrowed with thought. Upon seeing her, he turned, a troubled look upon his face. "Isolde," he said, his voice grave, "the king of Ebonhold sends word that his daughter, Princess Alana, is ill. Her fever burns high, and he asks for our aid. Our best healers have gone, but say they cannot help, so he begs that you go instead, Lady Isolde, for it is said that you have a gift." She understood his hesitation. Though skilled in medicine, she had little experience treating royalty, still less dealing with the courts of men. But what could she say? Not only was the princess gravely ill, her life perhaps hanging in the balance, but the king of Ebonhold, her father, was an ally. To refuse would risk war. "I will go," she said simply, her hand resting on her cloak. The king inclined his head, a flicker of gratitude crossing his features. "Then take this," he said, handing her a small chest. "It contains what you will need for your journey." With a final nod, she left the solar and made her way to the stables. Here, I invite you, dear listener, to drift to the window of Isolde's chamber. Look out upon the bustling courtyard where her destrier awaits, saddled and ready. His coat gleams black as obsidian in the afternoon sun. Can you hear the clip-clop of his impatient hooves upon the flagstone? See how her saddlebags are packed full, not only with supplies for the road, but also with that small chest which holds the Princess Alana's hope. And as you gaze out upon this scene, you may feel a sense of adventure stir within you. Picture yourself mounted upon the destrier now, strong arms steady about your waist, guiding the great beast as he steps proudly forward. You ride out through the castle gates, down winding roads, past villages and over hills, following a path lit by that one unique star. Upon reaching the border of Ebonhold, Isolde paused. Before her lay a forest deep and dark, a place whispered to be haunted. She knew that many a traveler had lost their way here, never to return. Yet, drawing strength from the cool moonlight and the quiet confidence in her heart, she urged her destrier onward. They rode on through the silent trees, their shadows stretching long and distorted around them, until at last they saw the lights of Ebonhold twinkling in the distance. Starlight and secrets. The king and queen of Ebonhold received Isolde warmly, leading her directly to the princess's chamber. Here upon a high bed of state lay Princess Alana, pale as marble, her breath coming fast and shallow. On the nightstand beside her flickered a single candle, casting long dancing shadows across the room. "Lady Isolde," the king said, his voice strained, "we fear for our daughter. Our healers claim it is no illness which afflicts her, but a kind of enchantment woven by dark sorcery. They have tried everything, but nothing seems to stay the fever in its course." She laid her hand upon the princess's wrist. Though weak and feverish, her pulse still beat, and looking closely at her face, Isolde saw not only sickness, but weariness, a profound sadness in the depths of her eyes. This, Isolde knew, was not merely a case of healing the body, but of soothing the spirit. With a grateful nod to the attendants, she dismissed them, leaving her and the princess alone together. Then, kneeling beside the bed, she began to speak softly. "Princess, I am here to help you. Do you hear me? I am here to help you." And slowly, the princess opened her eyes. "And now, dear listener, I invite you to draw close and listen." You sit in the shadowy corner of the room, watching as the princess stirs. Her eyes flutter open, and for a moment, they seem not to recognize Isolde. But then a flicker of recognition crosses her features, and she speaks in a voice thin as a winter leaf. "You are the Lady of the Stars." "Yes," Isolde smiled kindly. "So you know of my gift." "Word travels," the princess whispered, "and not only of your skill, but also of your kindness. I heard you understand not only the language of the stars, but of hearts, too." Isolde felt a warmth stir within her. "That is why I am here, princess. To understand not only your illness, but you." As the hours passed, the princess told her story. She spoke of a terrible loneliness that had taken root in her soul, a hollowness that no amount of gold or fine clothing could fill. And as she listened, Isolde saw the root of the problem was not illness or sorcery, but a profound disconnection, a longing for something real amid a life of gilded cages. Isolde promised to help, not only in her quest to heal her body, but to guide her toward wholeness of spirit. And with that, the two settled into comfortable silence, bound together by the unspoken understanding of kindred spirits. They sat thus until the next morning, when sunlight streamed through the windows, chasing away the shadows. At this, the princess grew weaker, her breathing growing shallow, her hand cold against Isolde's. Seeing this, Isolde knew it was time to act. Drawing a deep breath, she closed her eyes and reached out with her mind, calling upon the one who had given her this gift. Reaching out with her mind, she called out, "Stars of Avalon, hear my plea, and send your magic swift and free." Opening her eyes, she looked to the princess and whispered, "My magic is not in myself, but in the stars. With their power, I can heal you." The princess stared at her, her eyes wide with wonder, as Isolde traced ancient symbols in the air, weaving a spell of starlight and hope. And as she chanted, you may feel a similar wonder stir within you, as though you, too, are witnessing a magical transformation. And so, my dear listener, imagine yourself sitting beside the princess, watching as Isolde weaves her spell of starlight. See how her hands move gracefully and surely, creating a sphere of brilliant light around the two of them. Hear how her voice echoes with the music of the spheres, blending with the whispering stars. And as the melody reaches its crescendo, you may feel a sense of overwhelming peace, knowing that all is well, that the stars watch over you, that you are held safely between heaven and earth, and that slumber waits patiently beyond the veil of dreams. For more dreamy tales like this, don't forget to subscribe. And with that blessing, I release you to the quiet of your own hearth and home. May your nights be peaceful, your days hopeful, and your rest as deep as the heavens themselves. Until we meet again in dreams, farewell.